Yes.
O ka re simolotse thari ka jeno.
We needed gore re tseye nako re kgone go lokisa dilo tsa rona so that ga re starta motlotlo re tsore until 9 o'clock re tla be re le mo motlotlong wa rona.
Administration no more.
Admin ka moruti o ka tsho gape.
You know, yes, but it's one about WSFM as we have promised you. No, we will be back. Last week we were supposed to be having our time. But unfortunately, things could not be the way we wanted them to be. But anyway, today, here's the day, and we're hoping and believing that you are ready, listening and wanting to know as we continue with our subject, a very, very intense subject, by the way.
Yes, Muruti.
You know, I remember Haki Tshabalala fella our guest. I think in the previous year we have done how many? I think 8 weeks.
Yes, it was 8 weeks,
talking
yes.
about GBV.
Yes.
You know, and then really dissect from different spheres. You know, Khanti Utolo concentrated only on the male and female, Gantonali male and male, GBV in public spaces, in private spaces, and all that, you know, and yeah, but churches as well. Hey, yeah. We talk about churches. I work at churches, lady. Kehopola, one of the things, one of the shows I was watching, in fact, or what?
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes I would to switch on to another channel. So, yeah, the real facts. I'm sure why yeah, the real issues.
I don't watch TV.
Ah, okay.
Because I'm influencer, Muruti, I can TV.
Yeah, who influencer? Yeah, but you work at the real issues of life. It's only the newspaper. Why Mom Kopus?
Yes,
yeah. So that it is now. Sally now, Sally. I see. Papiri fella no. Inali. It's a TV.
Yes.
Yes, channel 8.
Yes, more
right. Baskan su akino gwasi pe kon channel ma. Yeah. So then, hard work GBV ya kodikereke.
Yes.
Bane ba discuss a little bishop.
All right.
You understand why it all like. Yeah. So khona le motho mong msadi a gagwe ba kula o wele mo skontiri mole ba mo founela ga atle a re ke busy wa rapela msadi wa gagwe o wele o pregnant o wele ene a reng ke rapela
yes
a re tlogile mo koma. But speaking about WSFM, we've got our guests in the studio, and I would like to give them an opportunity to tell you who they are, where they're coming from. If we will also be delighted to have that as well, to know where they're coming from. Ladies first.
Everything goes is hanging me. Baretsi ba WSFM dumelang go gae. Lina Tshabalala Lemeke. Moago mo Kagiso extension 12. Ke bereka thata ka di issues tsa gender based violence, HIV and AIDS. Organization ke phitlhile mo tlase ga yona ke TISA, the Evangelical Alliance of South Africa. Eleng gore ka lebaka la yona ke party ya CSF provincial level mo teng ke coordinator baruti mo province re ba rotloetsa gore ba responded to such issues that HIV and AIDS, and the gender based violence is always part of that. And then ke mme wa bana ba babedi ke tshegofaditswe ka gore ke lemogile gore modimo wa nthata. That's who I am. Ganyane fela. That's enough.
It's enough. It's like I'm not doing Hannah Quincy.
Baretsi ba station is in a say good. Say Tucson Rona Kamukana Arena. hore re itsebe hore ditaba tsa rona re di kry-a kae, re ya kae, re tswa kae. Ke a le dumedisa bosiung ba kasheko. Nna ke Jimmy Tshabalala Mshengu, ba on rata ba re ke Mshengu, tonga la mavuso. Ke tswa ke le kwana Montana, Pretoria. Ke mona representing mokgatlo o thusanang le bana bo mme, bo abuti le bo banyalani hore ba be le kgotso maratong wa bona, ka sekgowa ba re bitsa relationships and marriage counselors.
Relationship marriage counselors.
Relationships and marriage counselors.
Okay.
Re thoma kwa tlase moruti.
Okay.
Because you don't just get ha ke ra o sa shubediswa gona no. Yeah, o thoma o botse ngwanyana re he ke a o rata.
Gore le ruta batho gore ba propose ya.
Moruti
Ba erta mo.
re tla go ena. Ha re tswa mokgatlong o bitswang khuluma wenze ndoda. Ke kopa ho pheta.
Okay.
Khuluma wenze ndoda. Bua o etse monna. Kapa re bua o etse ntate. As banna hangata ke bona bo shabana le di problem tsena tsa tshotla tsa basadi go bone. But bontate ke bona di champions.
Okay.
Ba re lebeletseng the betterment of everything ya community go bone. Re tswa re le kwa Pretoria number 160 Garsfontein ke di head offices tsa rona. Na mo ke ye mong ke gola batong khatha very soon ka di 10 re ya go conferencing. Maybe we're gonna get the president.
Okay. Wa khuluma.
Khuluma wenze.
Khuluma wenze.
Yeah, khuluma wenze ndoda. Yeah, ikisale hona jwale ke I'm just a representative.
Okay.
Yeah, ke tswa kwa ho khuluma ndoda. That I must say. Ila ya the late comrade Patrick Shai. But o tlhokofala ntate Shai se re le tseleng ya ho warwana re be le khuluma wenze ndoda.
All right.
Yes. So one over le wika pa re batla ba the presidents.
No,
Mona mo ke teng. Ke tsamaya le re Kabzela. That's how I want to introduce him for today.
Okay.
Yeah, re Kabzela.
Kabzela.
Ke ye mong wa le baka. When I get more into details, tsa rona kapa ke ye mong wa one of the people that we feel humbled to have within this organization. We are humbled because of having the gentleman next to me here, Mr. Kabzela, because he's one of what we have achieved as Kulma Wenzendot.
Okay.
He will tell you as the show goes on or hot. There's where ke lagatsang hore baretsi ba tle ba bule ditebe tsa bona ba ngwale ba ngwadisise. I think that's where the spot is. He's a very soft speaker. He's a very good man. You can see the women call him handsome. I've never called another man handsome.
Yeah.
But he looks good. Mamuruti ke na kana actually challenge whether is he not or is he lady is he Mamrut.
Ya yona vasla pa o ikgatella.
Oh.
Rona ba tsunyela ke mathata ka rona bana. Jesus. Kabzela, you can greet.
Good evening to all the listeners of Westside FM. It's an honor to be with you in the station in such an interesting topic and very dynamic. So yeah, we'll just see how it goes.
Wonderful. Kabzela.
Yes, Kabzela.
Now,
Abuti o kgathala wa slap.
Yeah, lebitso Kabzela kore ke potso gore a ke ene kgotsa
Ke o mo.
komo mara ke a suspecta re tla utlwela bontsi ya go siame motho weso. Time now it is 4 minutes to 8 o'clock. That's our time, and then we will be here for the betterment of this of this time ne that
Yes,
we have
Moruti. Yes, Moruti. And then ere ke share number ya rona le Baretsi.
share a number.
Baretsi, in the meantime, the time now is 56 minutes just after the hour 7 o'clock. Number ya rona WhatsApp ke 062 200 6221 062 200 6221. So re kopa le nne le romela the message so that re ne a wa gore le teng. Le utlweletse le tshware dipene le dipampiri tsa lona so that le kgone go participate mo discussion ya ka jeko. Yes.
Discussion ya rona ke GBV. GBV, we've been treating it, I think I've been saying, for almost 4 weeks now, 5 weeks if I'm not mistaken. Then from these organizations, they approach GBV in their respective places, respective communities, and whatsoever. But let's say, we don't have specific thing to say. We'll be talking about GBV in a church or GBV in a workspace or GBV in a what.
It's just GBV.
Just GBV.
Yes,
We are interested.
yes.
We are interested to know because of their dealing with GBV, both organizations.
Yes, Moruti.
Right. Ke tlo simolla ka ladies first.
Kore lady ja mpuelle and we mo ke tlhaloganya gore
No, it's in Nigeria. Because of everything that women touch multiplies.
Yeah.
So whatever so it will multiply to the conversation so that it can be brought.
Yeah, she's
So-
so good.
Yeah. I taught her.
I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Moruti, thank you for the opportunity. When it comes to issues of gender-based violence, usually what I tell people, my first interest into this topic, it's because it's my own story. You know, when you talk about issues of gender-based violence, you're telling my story, my own experiences, and where I've been, where I've pain and all that. But generally speaking,
It was my prayer that you talk your story.
okay.
It was my prayer.
Maramblel.
It was my prayer.
All right.
Yeah,
It is my story
yeah.
because I've been there. Getting married at a very young age with no information. Most of us are like crazy. We don't even think about premarital counseling. And how can against what we want to do? We don't listen to you.
Yeah.
Not informed, not sure. But hey, I realize it took me a very long time to really make sense of things. But can I get more environment? We want if I on a decision maker, or a question anything I do. These walls are blue, they are blue. Okay, and unfortunately, financial abuse, psychological and otherwise. Okay, for many years in that space, unfortunately, and I planned to leave all this time, but I didn't. Because botata bo batho ba bantsi ba sa bo understanding ka GBV ke gore e go destroy ka mogare. You lose your free will. You lose your power. Mind o tla go bolella gore o tshwantse o dire jana. Mara ha ona matla. Okay, la bona. Number 2, the fear instill in you. When somebody says to you, I'm going to kill you, you believe them, yeah, they are going to kill me. So you can't go against them in any way, even if it's about what to do, but you don't finally get to a point where you can actually do it. sebetsa se tonna sa GBV ke gore e tla go tswalla mo khoneng o tla bo tlhoka support because le wena o le batho simolla guy because you normally perpetrators are beautiful people, they are respectable men and women for that matter ba ileng gore he ke thoma ke bolela batho ke re la itse gore mokete o mpidisa so ke ma o tla go believe.
Yeah.
And it is true most of the time the victims that GBV aba believe. It takes somebody or open-minded or who's been there or only knowledge to can give you the space or at least have a chance or we close and then I would well. So like most victims, see, I suffered a lot. I ended up suffering from depression for a very long time. Just that by God's grace. And kana le organizations Lifeline. Somebody recommended counseling. I called them one day. I was counseled telephonically, but then I lost it story. I can also make a face-to-face appointment. I went there. I believe that was the beginning of my life because of an environment entumelang to be me. Personal judgment. Especially batho ba di culture tse di traditions tse ding rona batho ba ntse re gola go te ngwetsi e re ke be ka Sesotho go te ngwetsi e llela motsheo taba tsa hao tsa ka lapeng o ka nna wa lla ka tsona maro o fihle kitcheneng go tle le tsona never o tswa ka lebati ka ditaba tsa hao. So ka realize gore batho ba ba ne ke na le bona ba sweu le ba befuta e meng it's easy for bona to express themselves. I think that environment for me then it helped a lot, but also their counseling course the first 8 sessions deals with
Okay.
I was given an opportunity more deep to get to understand to the feelings that I was going through because at that point in time how important because knowledge but I think empowerment helped me. I believe that's where my healing started. But as I can attest to you today, like any other chronic disease, healing is a process. Spaces so has Lifeline as a counselor and a facilitator. I worked a lot with survivors and victims, also perpetrators of GBV. Spaces so santuta hore. Seem to stay work for to be honest with you. Like most of the time, it's around more Casey, it ever you to set some matzadi or ish. Conjuring the feta, more red flags could come every now and then. But I thank God for the grace here. I was surrounded by people. By long they provided support and understanding because more than I if I would be the only one who experiencing it before me or no one else is experiencing it out there. So basically that's putting it in a very short and packed way for a GBV first of all for me. That's my story. And I keep telling it because I've learned some and I kalibaka la go hloka tsebo kalibaka la go hloka support kalibaka la tshabo exactly position e nna ke dileng ka ba go yona ba bangata they're still in that position. So basically now what I usually do ke go encourage people to speak out, but bothata ba GBV ke gore you cannot impose your own interpretations of things mo bathong ba bangwe because motho o mong yena influence tswe ke culture ya gore kwa tswang gona understanding ya ge ke gore e monna nrata tshwantsa ntshape and nka se tle ke le rato ke nya go change to know unless bona they are willing to walk the journey of empowerment until other things are clearer to them. So in the spaces that we at gender-based violence is a big elephant, to be honest with you, because of the way re tlhaloganyang le ka gona because batho ba bang ba believe gore tradition ya ba allow mosadi a ka betwa for a good reason if monna ba tlo mo discipline wa bona ntse tsona le so nka se tle nna ya ka interpretation e re batho modimo a re ska shapana no matter what. There's always other ways to solve the ditaba la bona ntse tsona le so ya a ke tsore go ra bile my leader there.
Yeah, no, and though it's very, yeah, your life, it reveals a lot of things in the whole matter, because of you speaking, it's on the marital side.
Yes, for me it was a
Yeah,
marriage,
yeah, in marriage, and yeah, we getting a lot of confirmations because
Yes,
of previously we spoke with one of the victims that actually is to me. I think they are listening now, listening with their organization.
Okay. All right.
About that she was dragged out of the car,
Oh.
poured with petrol,
Ow,
A shapiwa
and
ngwana le
then
teng.
and dragged them,
Yes, a gopiwa a kukile ngwana, a tshwere ngwana.
and in the whole thing. So we want the reason we doing this, we want people to understand the diversity
Yes.
of GBV,
Yeah.
and how it affect people in different ways.
True.
You see, so we I'm happy that you have said your story in this platform as an introduction, as an intro of what we want to achieve at the end of the day, right? And then Bamshem.
Baba, angibonge baba. Indaba zika mama, I know lapha emakhaya people are start saying, yo, now pity philo tata. Out of what she has actually said, it is true, it's bad, what happened is bad, but as us as Kuluma Wens and Dot, I would love to see the perpetrator. That's where we are actually sitting on.
Okay.
Yes, because if you looking at Melerato, umfundisikazi, ujonge yena yedwa umfundisikazi ba, you looking at the smiling face, hoping that she has actually gone out of this problem. We were done actually deceiving ourselves.
True.
We're deceiving ourselves because the perpetrator is still out there to her sister, to her cousin, or to my sister.
Yeah.
Telling my sister that I love you so much, baby. But because there's monster in the man, he has done this. Once a woman beater, people used to say, once a woman beater, you'll ever be one. But that's what we are actually trying to say. I would rather say, as Kuluma Wens and daughter, we are actually trying to say, destroying the mentality of cultures and beliefs within the relationship and marriages.
Yeah.
You get to Melerato, you start loving the woman. Lerato does not ask you about your culture.
Yeah.
He does not ask you about your culture. He falls in love with you. Falling in love with you, you plan only the sweet things. I always said, Abefundis only Kabzela, saying on the marriage date, saying, follow me, say after me. And always I looked at the lips of those who are following, the men who are following. When it comes their lips become too heavy to say anything. Yeah. But now, Tina as Kuluma Wenze daughter, we want to get the victim and get the perpetrator. I've said earlier when on introduction, we are on the relationships and marriages. I just omitted, we are on the boys as well. Let me tell you, Muruti and Jaledi, my colleagues, much of, say 90% of kids out there, or if you go to the schools on the day of parental meeting, you'll find women only, mostly. When you go to the records, you find mama as the guardian or as the parent, no
That's true.
mshengu.
As a contact, yeah.
Yes, yeah. Now we start looking at those records. Our research has given us much of, if we don't work much on the roots, on the roots of this, we are not going to do away with the GBV.
Yeah.
Because some kids grew up under a single parental guidance, which is umama. Umama who has been oppressed by the boyfriend because the father of the child is not there. Even the very boyfriend doesn't love this child. Hello? The very same boyfriend loves the mother but doesn't love the child. He at times, when I as the lover feel, my boyfriend is threatened by my child. You know? So how do we go about that? The child grows up. Remember, a child is an angel.
True.
He or she grows up seeing right through your eyes, the anger within through your eyes. You know what I'm saying? Now that grows cooler. You've just given a story, a sad story of one of the ladies who were grabbed out of, who was grabbed out of the vehicle. The child was there. That child, she still has that. Or he has that TV, what you call, in her mind or his mind. Then,
Yeah.
izokula nayo at times it bastard. This is what you did. This is what that man did to my what do you call it? To my mother. You know what I'm saying? So what should we do? That is where Kuluma wins and daughter. What should we do? In partnering with the government and the communities. Yeah, and the police, you know what I'm saying? When I said various what you call departments within the government that need to come, or what you call, you are the what you call, you are the mouth of the community.
Yeah, the mouthpiece.
Yeah, the mouthpiece of the community. But you'll find that if I were to go to your books, you'll find that there's nothing that enables you to reach out there to your communities in terms of assistance, in terms of quite a number of number of things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we are, as Kuluma Wenzendot, opening eyes of those who have been done this and trace those who have done this to check where is he, what is he doing with who, is that person ahlezi naye, is she aware of the monster is sitting next, is she sleeping with? Yeah, those are the things. The boys as well. We actually go to schools, high schools, to go look at these boys at age 14, 13, where they start the stage, where we need to sit them down and say, gentlemen, this is what you do. Life goes this way up until this. When you get to a relationship, you are expected to. We tell them, a man is a champion, remember. Biblical creation tells you that you are given authority as a man by the Almighty. You are given authority. But where is that authority? You are given the powers to champion the lives of whoever on earth is there. You know what I'm saying? But that is what we all live and look at, personalize it. Start, you know Mfundisi. You know Mfundisi. When you get close to someone that you say you love, Mfundisi, just define yourself. This is why we always tell women, what is it that he loves from me? Yeah, what is it that impresses Mshengu about me? Yeah. Who is Mshengu? Who is Udongala Mavuso? Is this the big voice? Is this the sweet smile? I know Yes, I'm ugly. I'm ugly, but God has given me some good things. Yes. And not unless you guys tell me that I'm not ugly. But
you are not ugly.
Thank you, but I wanted the ladies to say that. So what happens? Into enzekayo. Ngifuna ukuza kwinkulumo esikhulumile. Just we'll get much on how, what do we do. But as we talk now, Mfundisi, you can go to church. I don't care which church. Where you see Mfundisi, Yamba no Mfundisi, hand in hand. If you could separate them, excuse me, ask umfundisi ukuthi na uphathene njani uzokhala.
Yeah.
Ask umfundisi ukuthi uphathene njani. Umfundisi, some of the priests when they are at church, they feel like ichurch ingangaphumi because like la isonto nila kusekhaya. Uma ke ya ekhaya uya uyabona kwampondo zihlanjiwe. You know what I'm saying? At the very same place you get to the school, you find teachers.
Yeah.
They are no longer doing their job equally as expected because la ephuma khona utitshalakazi notitshala, there's a big problem. Kunonxa usebajwayele onxa. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So this is where we start saying as khuluma wenze ndoda. Start knowing uLerato. Who's Lerato? What is it that Lerato doesn't want? We say kule relationship. What does this man have? What is he yena la ephuma khona? What is his emotions? You know, my emotional. What is he doing? Does he insult? Does he say fuck? What? How do I deal with this? Before you get to the marriage, you know what I'm saying? Because some people like myself, I'll tell you, if you go to marriage counselor is going to ask you about yourself. Am I right? But if you know, dear lady, you know about me, you'll be able to help me to get through whatever demons that are eating me before we get there. Ngelika ngisathi ngiyakuthanda. Uyayizwa le nto. Ngisakuthanda, ngiyakuthanda, ngifuna sishate. Am I right? And the time ngisakuthanda ngifuna sishate, I'm like a tamed dog because I want this to happen. But when you start saying no, that is a very good girl. Say no, you don't rush to marriage. Yeah, they always say, but in Kabzan, let's take one step at a time. One step at a time. One step at a time. Yeah, that's what they always say. But you find that within that within those steps at a time, they are not actually looking at the vital things that they should be looking at.
Yeah.
Which is, who's this man? Obviously, mfundisi ufuna ukushada nendoda ezokhona ezokuprotect, shelter, or with someone who will be assisting you, who will be helping you. Umama uLerato uthi, as within her marriage, there was a lack of communication because someone was telling kumele kubenje. Kumele kubenje. Yes, kumele kubenje. She made a mistake of allowing that from the first day it happened. Because had you not accepted that kumele kubenje on the first date, this man, you would have opened his eyes to see that no, this is not what I thought. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and within this Kabzela, within this relationships, there's something that is monitoring that. We call it's seasonal, but some of the language has to be there no matter who. It even reminds you, your conscience, or will say, no, but I shouldn't be doing this to my sweetheart. The love language.
Yeah.
The love language. You're someone who's saying sweetie to you will never clap you, and after the clap, kulandele or mombonyoko. Never. That will never happen. Because the sweetie, haibo. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But what we are doing, we are grooming the young ones, boys and girls, as to what they should look at from the onset of their relationships. Those who are already in marriage, we teach them how to get through the difficulties of finances and all that within their marriages. Hallelujah.
Yes, WSFM time now. It is 20 minutes after 8 o'clock. 20 minutes after 20 hours, and I was correct in any way.
Yes,
that's how I know it.
Yes.
20 minutes after 20 hours.
Yes.
Isn't that the new one?
It's a new.
Number 20 minutes after 8 o'clock.
After 8 o'clock.
Yeah, 8 o'clock. They were saying, I'm supposed to 20 minutes. I get it out. You were 20 past 8. You say, I was saying, I got a
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, all school is for
Yeah, but now, Muruti, through your what you call, I've said March here.
Yeah.
I just want to make people, our listeners, to listen to what's the speaker who's gonna speak after me. Just listen.
All right.
And then we debate on that.
All right. We are getting some messages already. Pastor, I'm worried about women cause many, not all, see signs but choose to stay. I've seen men who mistreat their women in front of people, and they came up with his not violent. Okay, so women must ask themselves that why we as men we don't stand being mistreated because we leave. So what's stopping you to leave? The moment you stay, he will upgrade to being a violent. Thought they are sweet one in front of people, but bad in closed doors. But I'm still saying you see signs. And then we have, Memaki, Dumelang Bagolo, Rele Mametse, Rnalilona. Good, thank you very much, Osmak Memaki. And then we've got also Facebookers. Lungi Lemeke fam Mjele is watching. Always Shweme Shandis is watching. And then Kimahafeki Esther Mokwena is watching. Lungi Lemeke fam Mjele Are. The perpetrator will isolate you first, so that when he says he will kill you, you won't have anyone to run to. And then Esther Mokwena. Okay, she's Terry. And then Tombeni Ndeleni is watching. Ofente Katani is watching. Smangele Khadeb is watching. Togozo Brendan, power. And then Togozo Brendan, yeah, right. So those are our social communication. And then we've got also evening. Wow, we are loving a show tonight, right? Some of our listeners ba WSFM. Hakuso we malukutu. Also we joking. Yeah. But anyway, it's wonderful. So we go to the next speaker now. Who will be giving us his side. He says he does not want to be on the limelight. So we are keeping the cameras off.
All right, thank you. On my side, I've heard a lot about the topic, but I'll be looking at the other side of the coin, which is looking at the many men that are in silence and are suffering. Because as a man, a lot of people will say, especially if you're being abused, there's that laughter which just says, no man, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Indotaikali. So I've been speaking to my colleagues about the topic as well, and a lot of them have actually confessed that they've gone through similar situations.
Sure.
My situation is with my wife, and I've gone through a lot, because my understanding, first of all, before I speak, is that a man and a woman is equal according to the biblical text, but I'm not here to prove that. With that said, I believe that actions don't an act is the last thing that a person does.
Sure.
So I believe that before a person does anything, everything begins in the mind. So a lot of people, when they look at things that are done openly, they are shocked. But there are a lot of things that happen in the mind and in closed doors, like families in like man and wife between the room. So we as men, we suffer a lot of abuse. The first abuse is emotional abuse. In the family, we are accused of wrongdoing, things you don't know. we are physically abused, like they hit us, they break things, and obviously that's money. You know, they put you in trouble, you can't depend on them, they block your phone, you can't, so it's a very difficult thing to have someone where you thought, okay, I'm taking this person because I want to be with this person, only to find that's the very person that's abusing you, and you can't tell anyone because you have to swallow your pride, and you're protecting your ego as well. So it's very difficult for men. I know a lot of men are silent, and they're not coming out because it doesn't actually feel like abuse because we get used to it. You feel like he just did this, and we normalize it, and it becomes normal. Which, okay, this is life. You're living in this thing, and then you have to lie to family. Sometimes if we find that, let's say a person doesn't want to go with you to like when you're going home, and sometimes he accuses your own family of things that are not true, and as you're trying, so it's just a lot, especially when you're a man. But fortunately for me, God has blessed me with information. I have not cracked under the pressure. So, but of course I'm here, I'm still under this thing. So I just wanted to tell my story just a little bit, and also just to reveal the other side, which there's a lot of men, even though there might be a minority, and I'm of the opinion that doesn't matter what is the situation, but abuse in any form, abuse in any form is abuse, and it's there's no excuse for it. Thank you.
Right. Sure. Wonderful. And yeah. Obviously there are organizations like yours, organizations that are actually wanting people to come forth and talk about these things and so forth. But my question would be, what are the normal situations that you're encountering when you talk to people that have gone through abuse or are experiencing abuse on probably on a daily basis? That doesn't matter what form or what type of GBV, because of it's equal
it's
in
equal,
anyone,
equal,
you know. So what are your norms that you pick up in the people?
Okay, Moruti. Moruti, you know, there's only, like, I want to give an example, a small example of the Ukabzela. We worked together, and I picked something out of this. Yeah, I picked something. The norm is silence. People act as if there's nothing
They
happening.
don't want to talk.
They don't want to talk. For them, to take them out of that shell, you have to give an example
That relates to
this.
Okay.
I want to tell our listeners before we get to this. Did you hear how he puts his story? He summarized it. Someone may not even have understood exactly what he is saying, even yourself. But in a nutshell, he says, he stays with the wife, young as he is. They don't talk with the wife. They are staying in one room. If they are driving the vehicle, the guy is driving in the, they happen to pass by the robots where the miniskirt lady is passing. The guy will hear, wah! With a clap. You're looking at that. I'm telling you the truth. Then the man will keep quiet. He just laughs. He says, just as guess, man. Yeah. But he laughs because he says, I'm a man. He's been married for more than 5 years. But the Unkoskas has been home once. When Kuvalwa Kuyukaya, he goes home once. When he gets home, imagine ukuthi lensizwa isafarisha kanjani emotionally. He has to lie to the parents. Mayifike ekhaya uphi umakoti, hayi usebhizi son. Yebo. He comes home, He comes to us at work, he has to lie to us. You know what I'm saying? Right. One time he had to sell his phone because he forgot money into endlini yakhe. He went to somewhere like Kukonama toll gate corner. The guy is he's an official guy. You know, he's top guy. He's very top. You know. Then when he had to come back, he realizes, oh, he got imali from this. Then he calls his wife. The wife picks the phone. Hey, please, faga u300 ingwazi ukudlula la ngishiye imali kwe what. The wife, you know, switches off the phone. As we talk, akawazi ukukhuluma nomkakhe, phone yakhe he blocked. Yeah, not blocked, but some people are what do you call. So she talks to people, but except here. Do you see what I'm saying? And for such people to come out, you see, look at him. He's a very handsome guy. But gradually, the man is being eaten inside. The day he stops, the day he could be diagnosed of depression, he will be crippled by stroke because of this at his age. He will be, even if he might want to move. But this is where I say, that's where we come in. How do you get to this? He's living a monster life. He gets to his house, someone closes a room, the so-called my super queen, the guy has to cook. Now we say, you are in a very serious you like kasisuthu bare uzamaya hodima mahlepisi ko bridge buka number 4 or you know a sinkhole. You are actually on a sinkhole because now the day this person angithi uyezwa uphula iminyango ubulala ama fridge enzeni kungaliwanga ungakwazi abakhulumizana mos the day efikelwa yilo ndlovu engene enhlizweni yakhe will take a knife and kill the guy. Because angithi abalali kwi room e1. Yeah. Or she will kill herself. She will kill herself. Then who's going to be accountable? It's him.
The man, yeah.
The man. So this is why I say we need the perpetrators and the victims.
Sure. I'm interested.
Sure.
What in this what you have heard? What can be your response in this matter?
In terms of what Tate has just said now, or also listening to his story.
Yeah, listening to his story.
It's amazing that I actually agree with him. You know, in terms of rehabilitation, it is very important that we look for the perpetrator. Remember now, I got an opportunity. Though my story is this, but I got an opportunity to work with victims, with perpetrators, and survivors.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you get what I mean? To come to a point where I even said when I spoke earlier that sometimes the perpetrators, asibon tate fela. Nalebona bomme ba di perpetrators ja gender-based violence. How would no accept that? But it is the truth. Usually, what I say to them, for an example, it's building up on him. He might think he's handling it. There's no abusive situation that is not killing you inside. There's no surviving it. While you are still there, it is destroying you. The challenge, you will only see that later. The thing is now, but because of the physique, but the another day
Exactly.
Then the evidence is there easily. So my saying is this now. I do agree and also emphasizing on the fact that if we could empower our children, both young boys and girls, at an early age, because if I don't know we've normalized it in our communities. Let's be honest.
Some they say if there's
I remember now when it started, when my ex spoke to this, that the owner wa Murutu Mohol. and I get no more tlhaloseditse jwang nna ko tlile fela respondant that a re rato wa tef mpa manyana fela ke yona e tletsang gore that's because we've normalized dintho tse seng normal. Violence is not normal. It's not acceptable in any form, any shape, any color. No human being has the right. No matter what. So my view, actually, I agree with them. Not personally, this is what I do. I can say what's a really bunch of that. Basically, you can see the pain. Usually start again. Whatever we came here for. But I will make it a point that I raise the fact that are you okay? I know Baba Malona, you are not okay. Guys, are you okay? Because usile monster controlling Moses. You get what I mean to you? You have to keep this strong face, especially Baruti. Remember, it's not only the family, it's also the church. And we are scared to fail. We are scared to look weak. So now abuse does happen. Anybody can be a victim of gender-based violence.
Yeah, the listener or abuse of men happens far more often than you might expect in both heterosexual and same-sex relations. Where is that? Technology. Disappear. And then about it happens to men from all cultures and all walks of life, regardless of age or occupation. Figures suggest that as many as 1 in 3 victims of domestic violence are male. So, however, men are often reluctant to report abuse because they feel embarrassed, fear they won't be believed, or are scared that their partner will take revenge, make false allegations about you to your friends, employer, or the police, or find other ways to manipulate and isolate you, threaten to leave you and prevent you from seeing your kids if you report the abuse. Yeah, so then that was Brendan was commenting actually about that. Yeah.
And another thing, one thing I again about the perpetrator, because I was once also the victim of GBV, and that one Wanaka, which is my son, is the second born, and then the girlfriend before me, she went through the same thing. I went through the same thing, even though the current girlfriend, she's going through the same thing. So I guess it's true that they never stop.
Yeah.
Because I remember there was a time and then one day the girlfriend because and then Maporisa was the victim, which is the new girlfriend, the current girlfriend. Why so but sure I'm genuine. And then a few weeks later no, so you see that it never stops, and that's the start part, because the perpetrators, until I don't know, maybe they have to go through maybe some counseling, but they have to admit that
True. And it's very rare to find someone who actually admits this, or I need help.
You know what happens, my colleagues, sorry. Someone, or is he, or the listener, who said a perpetrator puts you in a corner, isolates you in a corner first. Yeah. That's what happens to what Jali has just said. You went to court.
Yes.
Because the aim of the day was to defeat you. They decided, no, let us cover ourselves. But this one, instead of saying, Jesus, I'm not the only one who has been beaten like this. But she decided to cover so that, I don't know, we always say from our research, some ladies, and they are very beautiful, they look very desperate of what we call love. Because if someone does not talk to you in an appropriate manner, where he or she shows respect, she shows to like I've just said, you need to be using love language. It tells you this person is not what you actually thought the person is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But ukhuluma wenze ndoda, I will ever advise you, once you start seeing such, please distance yourself from this.
But I'm tired.
As much as you love the person, I think I like this. I think I like this. Mfundisi. Umshengu found you a Kentucky. Uzithengele Kentucky. Wasebthanda. But before that, you loved and took care of yourself. You loved your body, your soul, and everything. And you remember, you are also loved by other people, family, friends. Hello? You are loved. Then this one comes with a special thing that I'm going to be the best and the best of them all. But now this best of them all, instead of being the best in actions and, he becomes the worst of them all. Why can't you move away?
It's not easy.
No, because you know what? Why it's not easy? No, Mama. You know why it's not easy? No, because of the cultural, what you call installation, in your mind.
Our fiber.
Yeah, in your fiber. It is not you. Let me tell you, Mama Ruti. Let me tell you. You just started it. Utu Musadi, Kasasutu, Kwa Tshabalala. Bare. Musadi tsara tipa kama hali. Angeke ngesilungu you never put your dirty linen online. Am I right? So that everyone can see that. That was a brainwash of some sort to a girl, a female, what do you call brains. Ngani yami ngifuna uye emshadweni ungabuyi uzongenzela amahloni umakhelwane ushadwe ngenkomo eziningi kabi so hore ukhutlele ususiye lenyalo asiyo. I have seen the survivors or the parents of the victims sesibasa emangcwabeni. You find the mother crying isikhalo engakholelwa noMaria wasikhala mhlazana uJesu bebethelwa emnqamlezweni. When you get close to this mother, interviewing this mother, Mama, what is it exactly? Ingane yami bekuyayisho lento ngathi mayihlale emzini. Ingane yami beyathukwa in town kwaSpa. Ngathi awenze uthi Lerato umfundisi ithe into zamayithi hayi impamanyana wathi awu impamanyana that pointing of the finger, pointing of your woman, pointing the finger like this, it's strong. One has to start thinking, no, what I'm in here. I want to tell you, there are very few. I think out of our research, we only realize that it's about 10% of females who says, no, I can't take it. You start talking, you are rude, or people who have these big voices. When you talk, they end up not probably listening to the message, getting to the tone, but we're annoyed by the tone. You need to sit this person down and say, your tone, it does not have respect. Addressing me with that tone, it doesn't have a respect. Then you see the reaction from there. You can even give some ultimatums that it does not have to happen again. Am I right? But you can never sit in a situation, Nina listeners, you don't have uvuka ndoda ukhulume tells you one thing. Don't ever, even right now, if you are sleeping next, you are laying next to someone who does that to you. Because tomorrow, there's no love. Love says, love yourself first. Love yourself first. If you love yourself, then you'll be able to say no to someone. Even Jesus said to someone, hey, if you come along to Susalego and Abdallah, yes.
The three are pointing at you.
Yeah.
Are we saying from this talk, culture, traditions, and religious
Exactly.
are a contributing factor in the GBV?
Hallelujah. I'm saying
this.
this.
The sum of the
They're not the only ones.
No, but
Lack of empowerment. That's why I echoed what he said as part of what they're doing. That they're empowering young people from an early age. If you don't know, you don't know. If you are not psychologically strong, you are not. If you don't have resilience, you don't have. So if this thing starts and you failed to say no at the beginning.
Exactly.
Because why? You were not informed for many reasons. Because as human beings, we are different. What I know now and what I knew then is different things.
yeah.
You get what I mean to you? So the minute you fail to say no, it starts happening. Then it starts crippling you psychologically. Though in the mind you know what should happen, but you are not strong enough to take an action. It's not, that's why I said when you were talking, Baba, I said, it's not easy. Do you get what I mean to you? Sometimes the victims just need you to be there for them. Let them come to a point where they know that they are safe with you. From you, that they can then draw the strength. But it's not easy. You can think of what it's because people don't love themselves or what. It's not always the case. Sometimes somebody knows exactly, for full 10 years I planned to run away. Full 10 years I planned my escape.
You
get what I mean to you? But because I was totally broken. I don't know how to explain that to somebody who hasn't been there. Yes, culture does contribute. Brainwashing of religion contributes as well. But if somebody can manage to break you psychologically, it becomes a challenge as well.
But there is what we call the strongholds from the family backgrounds.
Yes.
What role are they playing in that? Because I find it very difficult. We are agreeing and so forth, but when we have to do marriage covenant, there are lots of people that us now that they want to tell us things that we should and we shouldn't do and the likes. Hence I'm asking, are the strongholds, family strongholds, also playing a role in that, and how do we deal with that? We don't, unfortunately we don't have much time. We are left with only about less than 10 minutes. Maybe can we address that one?
I think you are right, Moruta. I don't know whether you were saying I should answer first.
No.
Thank you for bringing that up, because truly speaking, if you look at GBV, you might call it a spirit in a way. You might call it something demonic, because it can move from one generation to another. I believe that spiritual ties play a very, very vital role. That is why I mentioned earlier that when the minute we think of marriage, we push the right people away. Like issues of premarital counseling, it's very important, and it shouldn't happen for 1 week before we get married.
But
because we look into these things.
In the pastoral, because of you are coordinator as well of pastors too. Why these things are not addressed in churches?
That's the thing that we're raising now with most of the leaders. That leaders, you are allowing these things to happen in terms of how you approach these matters. Do you get what I mean to you? But let me tell you something. When people are crazy and they want to get married, they don't listen to anyone. Sometimes pastors will come and say, I did advise. I did say, let's first journey together. Do you get what I mean? Because these things of soul ties, you need to know my background. I need to come to you and come clean with you. This is my lineage. And it's our way of living. You know what I mean to you? We took it from grandmother, especially in our cultural context. How le mosadi ba re ha o nyalo thola matso le a lawyer. le yona tshwantse o loye. So
And Lutzola Banaba lawyer.
it's very important.
Where I wanted to come in is when you ask the question is that why is that the ministers in the different denominations don't deal with these things?
Yeah.
And my answer for that is that in most instances, especially there are churches that are very strict when it comes to marriage relations. They will never allow a person to even tie the knot if they haven't gone through the counseling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what is a major challenge is not the issue of the counseling per se. Is that we're dealing with people who already have a memorandum. Memorandum of what? Of how to behave in order to enter into the marriage.
Okay.
So you're dealing with people who are on stage. They tick all the boxes before they enter the marriage, whether it's a male or a female.
Yeah.
So a man comes in, a sweet, and he ticks all the boxes. But once he's inside, then he's an animal, whatever.
Yeah.
Or a woman comes in, she ticks all the boxes. She sings in church, she prays every day, she ticks,
Just for that
she
brand.
cooks, she cooks. But the moment she gets inside,
Moshega Yoki.
wash your own dishes.
Moruti, I must beg you, Shalil. You say the time is gone, but you have actually asked whether the strongholds within the families, church, and all this. Mama say pendili. With our research, we have seen the lenience of most congregations.
Okay.
When it comes to the marriages, I don't know.
It's not lenience.
Yeah, to be lenient. They are being lenient.
Lenience.
Yeah,
Okay.
lenience.
Okay.
Yes, they are very lenient in terms of not being strong enough to say the rules and regulations of the church. If one is actually getting married through our congregation, is that first of all, it's similar to what Mama Larata has said, where the priests, the leadership of the church has to meet with the two families before they come in front of the church. They have to meet with the two families for their satisfaction of whatever that will happen. In trying to avoid such things, to check. Few churches that do that, they don't even get to that day of marriage, because umfana usuke seveze ubuntu buyena yena intombazana iseveze uri na ki mali yotetso namwaka ki hadi chaliche, you know what I'm saying. Imunga aziveze ukuthi angena ubaba mina ake ntate ke monna ke into fitla mosigo ya kathuni.
Yeah.
Uri monna ke into fitla mosigo ntate o fitla kathuni ka melao yena e beile, you know. The families as well. The families bare mona ha Tshabalala ha re so ka ba re ba le ngwanana ya khutla lenyalo. Rakgadi wa hao ha se khutle lenyalo. Ba re ba tlo ba rakgadi wa bana ba di brothers are, so that she stays there forever. Yeah. Within years, ba mo kubile. Because but they sold her. They actually sold her. What happens? Ha ngwaneno a sa fitla kwana. That's the first distraction in when you know wife mana. When she realizes that my husband is no longer what I thought he is, and who else should I go back to? Moruti hana munyadisa manar mina angishadisi for divorce. Angishadisi abantu ba divorce. She does it. God hates divorce. The church congregations, they play a role in this GBV. Hallelujah. They also the perpetrators of GBV. I'm talking of churches now. In church, they always open on Matthew. They will talk of Lebarutimos again. Non-stop. You forget that these people, they have life and they have a belief in you as they are congregational leaders. Where you need to see them and say, Bomme, du lammo. Bondate Dulam, youth Dulam. This today, we talking of life, what is affecting my congregation as Moruti. What is affecting the marriages. Basadi babangata, bataba bomme babangata, Musadi gena lena gena fitla musuga. Bomme babangata. Bataba hutswa siaparo. Ana no sia siaparo. Obani utlo thewa studio sa oba manyu masko kokoko. Masko kokoko. Bakerekeng na makabekerekeng are. Ha wa bere modimo. Modimo Moruti or o tshaba hore o atswa ho ya emong. Ya man. O tlameha ho tisetsa monna eno wa.
Yeah, time it's an enemy, but this.
But we are available. We can even.
You're available?
Yeah, I'm available.
Okay.
I'm available.
I'm dating you. I'm dating you for next week again.
Yes, no, I'm available. We are available.
No, thank you very much. Yeah, because I was just pressed up. Oh, Mudimwaka, Hangar ka kopa mona watari. Hey, it's Pretoria.
No. This Moruti, this Kuluma Road, Kuluma Wenzen Road. We actually want to get Kadi weekends together, Lilona.
Okay.
That's where we wouldn't want to have direct calls to us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really,
Yes, you have. This is what I just said. Yeah. I said, if we empower you to help us empower the youth of Kagiso with the congregations in Melerato, we can make a difference.
Yeah.
We can achieve.
And rest assured, Mchengo, there are lots of people that are listening to this show tonight. You understand?
Thank you.
And then lots of people that we are also streaming. You know, we've got listeners overseas. I can tell you that. You know, in Denmark.
You know, we are listening now.
Yeah.
No. I've just seen a message. No, from New York. No.
New York. Yeah.
From my cousin in New York.
So can we are going to close it here now. Next week we are continuing.
Yes. Wonderful.
I will try, but our space is very small. I was gonna try to get somebody that deals with moral generation from a local municipality or from province.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at our space. But let's promise our listeners next week to be continued.
Oh yes.
Same day, same time. My pastor here wants to take over. In 15 seconds, ma'am, can you just